pull my mic a little closer to me. Way it doesn't sound like I'm in an echo chamber.
My mic really blends into my shirt.
Yes, it does. Took me a minute to find it.
That's the goal, man. There is no mic. Alright, we're live, by the way.
Cool. I reckon welcome to the podcast. Still yet to be named.
Yeah, we're just talking. Just doing stuff. Having conversations.
Because apparently Bards and Wiztards is not good in today's climate.
Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently. I disagree, but
no, it most definitely is not. I'm sorry. I'm not having that be part of the brand.
What? I'm just roasting myself. So
maybe like 10 years ago. Maybe not even that. Maybe like 15 years ago.
Oh, not that long.
2010? You think? Oh, in
15 years ago was 2005.
Yeah, but 10 years ago was 2010, 11.
Yeah.
It was starting to move out of fashion then.
I suppose.
Not in like high school and middle school and stuff. Like that was all the rage still. But alright. So what are we talking about today? Welcome.
Today we will start with Wall of Sand. An evocation spell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
One second. Let me look at any of the other wall spells.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because I think they're all evocation.
Oh, apparently Wall of Sand is the only wall spell that I have available to me. I think they're all 4th level. Or, no, not 4th level, 5th level.
Wall of Sand, Wall of Water, and Wind Wall. Okay, so here's.
Here it is.
Okay, so.
Yeah, they're all evocation.
No, they're not all. So.
What?
Yeah, I was about to say if they're all kind of wall, I kind of get it, but then like I feel like you need to change it. But Prismatic Wall is Abjuration, and Wall of Thorns is Conjuration. Everything else is Evocation.
No. Okay, so Prismatic Wall, I can understand being Abjuration.
Yeah. Well,
but
no, because it does have damaging effects on it. It's not sheer protection.
Okay. But I think we can all agree on all of the others should be Conjuration.
Or Transmutation.
Or Abjuration, even.
Yeah, like Wall of Force, I could kind of see it.
Evocation, yeah.
Evocation or an Abjuration, because stuff like Shield is Abjuration. And that's, I mean, what exactly is that? You're flicking some light energy out. Like Wall of Light, I could see Evocation. Wall of Force, I could see Evocation or Abjuration. Wall of Fire, Evocation. Like, I don't see anything else, but like Ice, Sand, Stone, Water, Wind Wall. I'd say transmutation.
Oh, yeah. Transmutation. All the natural stuff, I would say transmutation. But prismatic wall, I could see it being conjuration, evocation, or abjuration. Any of those work for me?
We're way ahead of... Welcome to the podcast, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I said welcome.
Yeah. I'm Jake. This is Josh. He's host. I'm co-host.
I have really bad ADHD, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking about spells more. Walls.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I've decided that every podcast we're going to start with a spell that I feel is weird or wacky.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. But the thing is, though, if they're transmutation, I would have the feeling within D&D that you could only cast the spell if the prerequisite material's there.
Well,
so like I'd be like wall of sand, you'd have to do it on sand, otherwise it'd be like you're now breaking down earth and stone into sand, which is much more difficult.
Let me actually... I'm actually going to look at this real quick. Let's see. Wall of sand. So, the material component is a handful of sand.
Okay.
So, I could see that working for transmutation.
Elaborate.
No, I refuse. Because now it sounds dumb.
It's like, yeah, you have the little bit of sand, but now you need like a lot of sand.
It's a sand magnet.
Oh. I don't know. How do they work?
No one knows.
But okay, I feel like, oh man, this is where like I would kind of want to shift some stuff into a more softer magic system with like the wall spells, and just have a wall spell where you take material that's already there and shift it into a wall. The earth around you, the trees, and you just make a temporary wooden wall of branches or vines, stone or something like that.
Yeah, but then we run into the thing of, does it go back when it's done?
Well, does like a wall of stone go back?
That is a good question. Okay.
Casting time 1 action. Yeah, it has a duration. It's concentration.
Yeah, but it's conjured stone. Whereas if you were taking a material that already existed, it's not magical. There's no reason for it to return where it came from.
I would say the way that like I would do it through like a lore and make it reasoning is just due to the intense like magical energies placed upon it, it would be weaker and just start to decay soon afterwards and fall apart.
Yeah, but what if you used a living tree?
The vines would start to die. The vines and branches would just start to die and dry out real quickly. And the trees would kind of die.
I need to open my notepad because I just got a spell idea.
That's like how I would think about it. If I was writing this in a book, that's how I would do it.
I will work on that spell later.
Opening dimension.
Oh yeah, this might be a good time to bring up the spell I'm currently working on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this name is going to stick, but I'm calling it Quills of Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It is a first level spell, and the material components are a quill and a finely made book worth at least 500 gold pieces.
That's an expensive book. If we're just talking D&D standards.
Yes, it is the price of 10 spell books.
Holy crap, what is that book? Is it just covered in like gold filigree?
I don't know, it could be made out of dragon leather. That would be a very expensive book.
It's got like a mithril fucking lock on it.
Yeah, just made of dragon leather with gold binding.
That's a book more expensive than what most fucking dirt farmers will ever see in their life.
Yeah, you could buy a house for that much gold.
Yeah. Jesus fuck, dude.
Anyway, so I haven't finished the spell, but it's a first level spell, one action, 120-foot range, somatic and material, duration instantaneous, school divination, and when you cast it, the creature you cast it on, a creature you can see within range, must make a charisma saving throw, or knowledge about the creature is written in the book if they fail. And you get more knowledge on the creature depending on what level you cast the spell at. So at first level, you would get the name of the creature, which is the one most often used by the creature, as well as any you already know the creature as, written in the book, the age, the creature's sex, the creature's type, the creature's species. And then I was thinking at like second level, you get me chart or something. Then like, I still need to flesh it out a lot, but I was thinking at like 8th or 9th level, you get true names of creatures. Like if I used it on a devil, I could get a devil's true name at 9th level.
Yeah.
I was writing on it earlier, but I got bored and didn't want to write flavor text for it, so. I was upset. I actually had it written out more. But my computer turned off. And I forgot to save.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I had like a whole paragraph of flavor text about the spell.
I know that pain. Fucking little sidebar. I for my homebrew world, I use World Anvil to write stuff on, and it auto saves the moment you change anything. And I accidentally deleted like paragraphs of information. It does not have an undo.
I feel like that's an oversight.
Like, well, because it just auto saves. The moment you type every single letter, it saves. You stop typing for a second, it's just like, all right, it's been saved. Like 4 hours worth of writing. I was pissed.
I would be too.
Rewrote it, came out better.
Oh.
Yes. But yeah, divination spells that give you that type of information. I like it. I have a huge issue with divination spells in 5e in general. They don't seem worth it.
I agree.
Very few, like scrying or identify, extremely worth it. Augury, It's really difficult to work with. If you guys don't know Augury, by casting gem inlaid stakes, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divine tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible omens: Wheel, good results; Woe, bad results; Wheel and Woe, both good and bad results, or nothing. Depending on how the players use it and cast it, like before they go into a dungeon or something like that, it can be like, I don't know. It could go bad. You could all roll natural ones.
Yeah. I'm looking at divination spells. First of all, there's not many.
No.
There's
Legend Lore is good.
So, there's a bunch of 2nd level ones and a bunch of 5th level ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 6th levels, and then there's no 7th, no 8th, and there's a 9th.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there could be more.
Mm-hmm.
What is there? There's nothing about looking into someone's past. There's nothing about like looking into people.
Yeah. And a lot of them are cleric or subclass specific.
Yes.
There's a handful of druid, and that's really depressing, as there's an entire wizard subclass based around divination.
Yeah.
And it makes it very... why would I ever really go down that way? Because effectively, between 5th level spells to 9th level spells, a wizard can only get one divination spell, and that's True Seeing. The other 6th level spell is Bard, Cleric, Druid, which is Find Path, which is not really.
It's niche.
Even then, because this spell allows you to find the shortest, most direct physical route to a specific fixed location that you're familiar with. You can't name other planes of existence, places that move, a non-specific location. Like, it's like, I'm lost in the forest and need to find my way back to town. Like, that's what it feels.
Like someone who can cast 5th level spells.
It's a 6th level spell.
Even worse. Like someone who can cast 6th level spells needs that type of help.
Just teleport back. You have teleportation circle. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And it's the most direct physical route, so it's gonna be like, oh, I lost my map, and I'm not like good at traveling by the road, so I need to like find my way from one city to the next. It's gonna like bring you directly through all the forests and swamps and mountains and crap.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Why? I'm in a giant city and need to find my way back to my tavern that I rent a room from.
It's gonna take you through all the alleyways.
Yeah, I mean, just to to further explain how useless spells like this is. I don't know. If you have a scenario in which it was extremely helpful to have, let us know.
But I have seen it used before in situations where it was not extremely helpful, but helpful at least.
Oh, because so like Skyrim has a spell just like this, clairvoyance. It shows you the path to your objective. You have an objective marker on your compass, yo.
I have used that before. It has been useful to me.
What?
I couldn't find the way to get there. If I follow the compass, I'm following the compass straight. And then I end up facing a mountain and I'm confused, sweet. I'm not very bright.
Oh, okay. But it's all Find Path is also a concentration for a day. It's a 6th level spell.
Concentration for a day?
Yeah, it's duration, concentration.
Shoot me. Let me die in the woods.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm
get...
not interested.
It feels like a third. I could see a 3rd level spell, but I will never burn a 6th level spell. Unless it's just
You know what would make it good?
Okay.
If it was not concentration, and instead of showing you the path, it required you to have a scroll, like a piece of paper, and it drew a map.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that being more helpful. It draws the route up on a map. Yeah.
That would make it good.
I could see it being used.
And even then, I would say 4th level.
Yeah. I could see it being used to get cardinal directions. Show me the path towards the sun. To the sunset.
It said no vague directions.
Damn. Is that fake though? Depends on the world. Depends on how. If you have the sunset in the same spot, then it's a very specific location.
Is it though?
No, it wouldn't work at all.
Negative, sir.
But it's still a 6th level spell. Like, that's insane for what it does.
Yeah, that's...
And it requires divinatory tools worth at least 100 gold pieces. And an object from the location you wish to find.
That is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that spell is absolutely useless.
A set of divinatories such as bones, ivory sticks, cards, teeth, and carved runes worth 100 gold pieces, and an object from the location you wish.
No, useless. Garbage. Boo-boo. Absolutely terrible.
I don't get it. Divination spells need to be better.
The
ones that are good though are really good. Like scrying is really good. True seeing's really good. Give someone true sight. Legend Lord can be like extremely helpful. Contact other plane, commune with nature, commune, locate creature. Those are great spells. Divination is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Tongues, see invisibility. find traps if you do a heavy dungeon-based campaign. It's a lot of traps. Identify Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark is a divination spell.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I did not realize that.
I mean... It
has... I mean... I guess? Depend on how you flavor it, where it's like you could see like the weak points with Hunter's Mark. And
however, it also lets you know where your target is within a certain range. That's the only reason why I can't argue against it.
No, you don't know. You have advantage on wisdom perception checks and wisdom survival checks to find it.
Hold up.
You don't just know. You could track it better, and you could find it better.
Okay. So what's the one that tells you where your target is? Because I know there is one. Anyway.
There's like beasts.
No, that should not be divination.
Yeah, unless you're doing it like, okay, there's a dragon there and there's a chink in its scales. There's a weak point in the armor here, so I'm going to aim my arrows there. And that's why you're getting the extra damage. Oh, that person has a bad knee. Like, unless you roll it, like, sort of explain it like that, then I could see it more.
Here we go. Enchantment. No. Actually, I don't know what other school you'd put it under.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gift of Alacrity.
I'd like to take this moment to say we are not experts.
I mean, Hunter's Mark. Oh, that's weird. Like I can't see what else it would be, but it does feel a little weird.
Yes.
Because mostly when like people do Hunter's Mark, it's just for the extra d6 of damage.
Mm-hmm. Which, if that was the case, I'd dare even say necromancy.
Qualify? Please?
It just gives me just off of sheer vibes.
Okay. I guess.
I'm sorry, I'm an agent of chaos. I work off vibes. It is what it is.
All right.
But, segue, speaking of necromancy, another school that I feel like needs some loving is necromancy.
Okay.
There's a lot of spells. I just feel like it's not there. There's no soul in it. Pardon my pun.
In what way?
I don't know. I've just never had the urge to play a necromancy wizard. It just doesn't feel like it's worth it to me.
Yeah. Well, the big issue with it is like they don't want to overdo summons and stuff because it is they don't want combat to take 9 years.
And that my good sir, is my biggest problem with Dungeons and Dragons. Is I like to play the summoner. I like to be the Lagomancer. Let me lag the game.
I mean, it definitely got... Summoning definitely got better when they just added the flat, like, summoning spells a little bit ago. Like, just straight up summon undead at 3rd level.
Also, I feel like the heart of necromancy is armies, undead armies, and there's just no way to do that in by the book based D&D.
So that's my issue with 5e in general, is they pushed it so much to a toolkit system and not a rule set. So like if you look at like older editions, they'll have stuff like, oh, you want to build a castle? Here's how much gold it costs per 10 feet of castle wall. Sort of stuff.
We need
that. Where, because like older editions were much more about, okay, like they even have like gold pieces to XP, where like spending gold was how you gained your experience points. They had like side rule sets for that. So it was so much of just you go into the dungeon with you and your players and then your hirelings. They fought, they carried gold because you needed it, because it's like you and your 4 buddies aren't going to be able to pull out an entire dragon's horde by yourself. You need these guys to move it to your vault. You need to pay them, and you need to feed them, and they had morale checks, because if you're going to piss them off, they're going to be like, fuck these guys, I'm out. And then that led into a lot of stuff where it's like, oh yeah, my player character died. No, don't kill your players. Or do. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. So like a lot of them would just be like, oh, my player character died, and we really like this NPC. He's just going to become a player character now. But yeah, so like 5th edition doesn't have a lot of that stuff anymore. It's focused much more on like that heroic, fast-paced adventuring now. Where it's, here's the big bad, here's what you need to do, go kill his allies, go figure out shit, and then go kill the big bad. There you go, it's done. And not so much of having rule sets for the long, slow, we just had 2 years of downtime before we got our next adventure. No, we just did this dungeon, helped these guys out, got paid 500 gold pieces. Why am I going to go on another adventure again? I'm good for like 8 months. I could go rent out a room at this tavern, drink, play card games, do a little training, read a book here and there. It's like, why am I going to risk my life again? Fuck that.
And I've thought about that before, and I'm like, it's really, like, if you played your character the way most people in the world are, nobody's going out to adventure just to... Nobody is going... No random... I need to finish my thought. I can't. No random dude is just going to be like, you know what? Today, I feel like becoming a hero.
Yeah. It's like, most of these people are going to be like mercenaries and people who are just like, yeah, I used to be a soldier. I don't really have any other skills. And I'm really good at this, and I don't give a shit. Because I killed a bunch of people while I was a soldier. Or they got kicked out of the military.
And that's very much how I try to play my character, Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he has no intentions of being a hero.
Mm-hmm.
He wants what he wants. He has a goal. he's not here to kill Gorgeth or to kill Atropus. He's here to further his own goals.
Mm-hmm.
And if that just so leads him to Atropus, that's another thing. But that is not his goal. That is not his job. He never signed up for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a lot of them will be that way, where they're just like, some of them might even be like, I'm not gonna they may be like a 15th level, a group of 15th level adventurers. You know, they're really powerful people, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, I could go in there. I have enough money in my bank that I could hire a bunch of people, and we could go in there and probably end this. But why the hell would I do that? Like, this is lucrative for me, which is why, like, for me, it pushes into gods being so interacted in the world being very important, because you have a cosmic morality now. You have people being like, I may want to do that because I don't want to be stuck in the 9 hells. When your, like, morality is now a magical system.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm sorry. Necromancy. Large... I kind of hate saying this, because like large combat should be more supported, so we could have larger necromancy stuff. But then it kind of starts moving stuff into what the whole reason of tabletop RPGs moved away from, which was wargaming.
Second, I gotta answer this text.
Yeah, because like if they do start to push, I'll keep talking then. If they do like ever go, okay, let's release a book that supports more large scale stuff, it does kind of go against. I just realized what Summon Undead required for its material components. A gilded skull worth at least 300 gold pieces. Damn. Because it's like they want to keep stuff on like the small scale for the individual like adventuring party, and not like massive scale wargaming. But at the same time, release a book that tells us like how much like a good that gives something to touch upon for stuff like military cost and castle cost, fortress cost, or something like that. Something that's like, yeah, no, if you want to build your own, like if they want to build their own home or homestead or something, like it's going to be something in the range of this
cost. And that is why I love Acquisitions Incorporated so much. That is such a good book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't read it, but isn't it like mostly to do with running a business in D&D?
Kind of. So it's running a Acquisitions Incorporated franchise business within your world. So you have like their company positions like cartographer, documancer, loremonger, and a secretarian, those sort of things. But oh man, I do. And then it goes into like their people and like the spells that they homebrewed with some adventures. But it does have some stuff that you could definitely touch on and pull from for running a business, because you could always like manipulate this crap. But it's much closer to running the Acquisitions Incorporated campaign, which is mercenary, adventuring, hiring. Though, if we want to get onto this, there is a fantastic book on DM's Guild called The Adventurer's Domestic Handbook, which goes into family relations, kids, what levels they'd be, what their stats may be, features and stuff like that. It goes into running a business, romantic relationships,
oh my god,
bonds. It has backgrounds for it, so it's like independent businessman is a background, a farmer's a background in it.
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, feats for it, so it's like dual casters, long distance lovers is a feature. Ferocious protector, arcane guardian. It has going into buying land and establishing a home, buying in a city, buying in a country, maintaining your land, creating homestead. Goes into building, upgrading staff, renting stuff out, being a landlord. It has some subclasses, so it has like an architect artificer, barbarian path of protector, bardic college of botany.
Oh my god. Pause.
Yes.
An architect artificer is everything I want and more. I just wrote down in my ideas for the campaign a branch of the mage college dedicated to training like creation wizards.
Yeah.
Just wizards who can just make buildings.
So let me find that. What page is that on? 36, okay. So
I love everything about that.
Effectively, you gain proficiency with carpenter's tools. Starting at 3rd level, you always have certain spells prepared after you reach particular levels in this class. Go to the thing. 9th level, they get Explosive Bastion. At 9th level, the cover you create for others charged with extra power. So you could build barricades, fortified barricades. Force barricade. Beginning at 3rd level, you learn how to create a deployable wall using carpenter's tools. You can use your action to deploy a wall of half cover that is 10 feet long and 2 feet thick, originating at a point within 60 feet. This cover has an AC of 10 plus your int modifier, and a number of hit points equaling 10 times your intelligence modifier. It is immune to poison damage, psychic damage, and all conditions. If it is forced to make an ability check or saving throw, treat all ability scores as 10 plus 0. You can cast Mending to repair it, 2d6 hit points. It disappears if it's reduced to 0. They could get the features on it. Hospitality. As a bonus action on your turn, you could activate the healing energies within your barricade. When you activate the feature, all friendly creatures behind your cover gain 1d8. Reflection. This explosive barrier is built for defense. As a reaction, when your cover or an ally behind your cover would be hit by an attack, you can activate this barricade to deal 2d8 force damage. At 5th level, you could deploy it as a bonus action. It can blow up. At 15th level, it gains a +2 to its AC. Pretty much you build a wall is the biggest thing about it that you can move around.
That's not as cool as I wanted it to be, but
you could always then RP it of like you're built around architecture and understanding like walls and whatnot and barriers. So, like, I would 100% go, yeah, people like this can know how to build buildings better. And they could last longer and look better and be more advanced.
I might even actually go into a homebrew spree on just spells revolving around creating things.
Mm-hmm.
Like fabricate, but on a much larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to throw up walls and have a building done in like an hour.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty intense, depending on the building.
Or being able to build warships. This is where I got the idea, was the navy that I wanted to build, realizing it will take forever and a half. And then all I could picture in my head was having like a group of 10 wizards just coming together and just like earthbending.
Just fabricate.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of wizards with raw trees and fabricate.
But what if there was a whole subclass dedicated to building stuff like that?
So, yeah, I would 100% agree. Because most of the stuff within the player's handbook and any book coming out from Wizards of the Coast is going to be focused more or less, there's always going to be the outliers, on the adventurers, the adventuring side of stuff. They're not going to have stuff focused on these wizards can build stuff better, or this group of people can make food, a refrigerator that could have food last longer.
Yeah. But realistically, in a world with magic, that is how stuff would develop.
Yeah, there's gonna be here's a hoe that could last a lot longer. There's gonna be stuff like that, 100%. Even if it's not available as much to the, I mean, it could be available to the players, but it's not gonna be anywhere near as useful for the average D&D game of 4 to 5 adventurers going out into dungeons or dealing with whatever. There's gonna be little things where it's like, this is gonna be an item that was made from King Killer Chronicles. Pretty much it was a higher end hotel, like a boarding house, and each room had a bell. If you rang the bell, another bell would ring down at the front desk, so they'd know who needed help. And it's like, something like that, not really gonna be extremely useful for players, besides very niche situations, but that stuff's gonna exist. That stuff should exist. A bathtub that just fills with water.
Because that's just how technology would develop.
Yeah.
You would have no reason to use technology if you have magic that could replace it and be more efficient. Or just as efficient.
Which is where, this is how, now you saying that sort of starts to click some stuff together, where the artificer would come in. Whereas a wizard enchanting something can take weeks, months, years. An artificer should be able to make these much more useful items for the everyday person a lot faster and a lot quicker, and in a way that would not freak out the average commoner if they're not casually exposed to magic. Not every commoner is gonna see someone casting fireball. Them seeing that, they're gonna be like shitting their fucking pants. But a commoner where they're like, oh yeah, this dude comes by and was able to make these bells that ring together. They're gonna be a little weary of it, but they're gonna be able to accept it a lot more than a ringing in their mind.
Hmm. God, I love these types of conversations, but they always give me so much to think about. And my brain is running a million miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Or like, the commoner's going to be maybe more accepting to this person that lives in their town that's able to make this small robot thing and it's able to move around and do stuff versus someone summoning this invisible creature from nowhere and having that do their laundry. Like, they're going to be able to see the automaton do it. And that's a lot easier for someone to accept than walking into their house and their laundry's just folding themselves. They're going to be like, what the fuck's going on? I'm haunted. There's ghosts here.
But they're laundry ghosts. I mean, come on.
They don't know that.
You know how happy I'd be if I had a laundry ghost?
Yeah, the unseen servant. It's the unseen servant's a lot harder for people to accept than the robot over there.
I have an interesting question.
Yeah.
My undead entity.
Mm-hmm.
Could it help me with enchanting?
Huh.
I told you it was an interesting question.
So, for those of you that don't know, this man over here took souls from a dragon, a caster, a minotaur, a devil, and a bunch of miscellaneous souls from creatures that they've killed on their adventures, tied them all together and made a giant, effectively bipedal dragon with parts of those creatures as well. So I ruled it as, because it's like the souls are connected to it, it has some of their capabilities, like casting arc wizard spells. I don't know. Maybe.
Because I know it can speak.
Yeah, it can speak. It's intelligent, and it has a casting ability. It is technically a spellcaster. I would probably pit it. How conscious is this creature? I'd probably ask that. Like, can it self-reflect? Does it have like its own internal dialogue with itself?
Are you asking me if I would have let it be conscious?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Does it have its own autonomy?
I would say to an extent.
Because I would probably say like that has a huge thing. Like, could you send it out and be like, you're the general of my undead army?
Absolutely.
Okay, if it has the wherewithal to be like in charge of a massive army, a military force, then yeah, I would probably say it could enchant stuff.
Because that is absolutely what I want to do with it in the future.
Yeah.
Is make it, if I go that route and make an undead army, which I might, depending on how things happen. I would absolutely like to make it a general of the undead army.
Yeah. Yeah, then I would probably say, if you want to be able to be like, yeah, it is, all these souls are collected and make its own like personality effectively, then yeah, it would. It would have a mixture of like the ruthlessness and the hunting tactics of a blue dragon, where it's going to be a lot of hit and run styles. It's going to be, over time, probably better at hiding and things. And the general intelligence and arcane knowledge of an arc wizard, and the brutality of physical combat that comes with a minotaur. That was,
and don't forget the devil's soul.
Yeah, that was a ruthless fighter when it was alive, not an undead creature. And the conniving, underhanded social prowess of a devil, where they probably don't think about, they're not gonna, they may make a deal with a farmer for their soul and their children's soul, because they know this farmer's useless now, but if I give him what he wants, in 150 years from now, they're going to be noblemen. And that's going to be real nice to cash in.
For sure, for sure.
So, yeah, like, I would probably say, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going places. We're going places, boys. It's only up from here.
Oh, no. But, yeah.
Would that essentially half my enchanting time?
With multiple people working on it? Sure, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, it's all always.
Yeah, that's why large, powerful wizards get their acolytes and whatnot. They do the little bits of enchanting that they don't want to do, so when they get all the pieces together to do the big enchantment, it goes by faster.
God, I need to get an acolyte. I need to get acolytes.
I mean, you're kind of doing that with your Mage's Guild.
I do have a Mage's Guild. I want to take an apprentice. But I'm trying to figure out how I would find this apprentice. Because it obviously has to be someone with my
moral compass.
Yes. Well, not necessarily as evil as Loomis is, but definitely at least chaotic neutral.
Oh my God. Hold up. I'm so sorry to change subject here. So I was going through this domestic handbook, and
this is gonna be great.
I got to the child rearing section.
Oh no.
They have diaper changing in it. On average,
this is what
a baby needs changes 1 to 3 times a day. A fussy baby needs 3 changes a day, while a content or drowsy one only needs 1 to be changed once a day.
I don't think that's how that works.
How many needs to be changed is up to the DM. A successful diaper change requires a 10 dex saving throw.
Come on, man. This is ridiculous. I feel like we got a little off track while writing this book.
Not a check, a saving throw.
We're in the danger zone.
Everyone needs this book in their game. It's a very cool book. It has stages for infant. Humans, orcs, half-orcs, dragonborn, and tieflings are a year. Half-elves and halflings are 1.5 years. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, goblins, kobolds, and similar races are half a year. They have how long they're a toddler. They have apprenticing rules in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Whether or not you're apprenticing a toddler, a child, a teenager, an adult, elders.
Ah, yes, that's what I need to do. Kidnap a child.
You guys should have let Kyle do it then. You could have just. So again.
The problem is Kyle got caught.
In our campaign, we had a player character. His character was called Kyle. He was a lean-in that derived from the deck of many things. So he had no sort of wherewithal of like the world around him. And he wanted to kind of start an orphanage in a way.
He wanted to help some orphan children who were on the streets stealing. And his solution was
to take them. Just take them.
Just take them. Which ended poorly because while he was talking to one, another one tried to steal his gun. Which he was not very happy about.
It was amazing.
Urchins, man.
Yeah.
Can't trust them.
Oh, you don't. Oh, man. But yeah, let's back to magic. Necromancy, yeah. It needs a bit more support. I don't even know like how you
I wonder if I'd get looked at sideways if I tried to adopt a child.
Just you were raised in an orphanage. Loomis was.
I was.
One for Loomis magically inclined children.
Yes, indeed. I am technically a Perdat citizen.
There's your you have a target.
I'll just pull up to the Perdat and be like, I need a child.
Pull up to your orphanage and be like, yo, you guys did me a favor. There's a lot of kids over there, and I need some help doing what you do. How do you know who's magically inclined and who's not?
Yeah.
Then you have the Mages Guild now make like... Oh, God. Oh, no. Fine.
Child soldiers, here we come.
No. That's not where I'm going. Find out how they find which urchins are magically inclined and which ones are not.
Urchins?
I'm sorry. Words.
I believe you meant orphans, but okay. I mean, most urchins are orphans, but not all orphans are urchins.
Which ones are magically inclined and which ones aren't. Set up an orphanage, and then once they're done with the orphanage, once they hit 18, they're instantly in the Mages Guild.
They're drafted.
So you're just indoctrinating magical children into your magic army.
I'm okay with this.
Why do I always give you the worst ideas?
You give me the best ideas, sweet. I love it. This is why I have an entire flash drive specifically for these.
Yeah.
I also still have those pictures of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, no.
Magical children orphanage. That's written down.
Oh my God. Magic. D&D. Tabletop RPGs. Everyone should play them.
Everyone should play them.
Now, finding a proper group that fits you is a very difficult thing. But everyone should play them. They are the greatest things ever. They give you so many great skills. Improv skills, creative problem solving, working together.
They teach you a lot about your personality.
They give you an insane insight into other people's thought process, too, and how they interact with stuff. Like, it is wild.
See, y'all think Loomis is just a character, but and to a certain extent he is. But to a certain extent, some of this is also just my thought process. I'm just I need therapy.
We all do. Self-therapy through D&D, very helpful thing as well. A lot of people do it.
It keeps me sane. It also keeps apparently some players from abducting children. Wipe that. I didn't say it. No, he's a good dude. He's in the army or something. Marines.
Okay.
I still think the way he played Kyle was probably some of the best roleplay I've ever seen.
It was amazing.
Especially coming from someone who doesn't have any experience in D&D. I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
The point where I was confused as to whether he was role-playing or if this was actually his personality.
The way he played a lack of understanding of general social knowns was insane. The dinner scene, holy... So it was so him, good. Kyle, and the character Badil at a relatively higher-end restaurant, and he was just playing it as he doesn't understand how soup works, how forks and spoons work, how cups work, how plates work,
how wine works.
How wine works. He was dipping food into his wine. Oh my god, it was so great.
It was...
He was licking the spilt wine off the table with his rough lion tongue. It was amazing.
I loved it.
Oh man. All right.
But when initiative is rolled, perfect killer. Because that's what he was created to do.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking fantastic. All right. Spell floating disc.
Tensor's floating disc.
What do you think about it?
So it's been a minute. I haven't looked at it in probably a year or two.
That says a lot about the spell then. Already.
Yeah. I think it's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Poor execution.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 20 feet is a very large distance for it to hover behind you. And I feel like it's very niche.
Yeah. It's definitely a holdover from older editions where it was a lot more of delving into dungeons and getting treasure. In modern day 5e, don't see a massive use for it unless you're just running those types of campaigns still. A lot of dungeons, a lot of treasure hoards in which you could just load up what you loot onto it and have it move. Other than that, like...
But even then, it's just a worse bag of holding.
Yeah, but if you don't have bag of holdings yet, because it's a first level spell...
True.
And if the hoard's larger than what your bag of holding could hold,
it holds the same amount as a bag of holding.
Yeah, but if your bag of holding's full, because you're like, if you have other stuff in it,
I feel like it would be useful if you could control it instead of it just following 20 feet behind you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could like move it places,
yeah,
it would be way more useful.
Yeah, bump it up like a spell level or two, and have you be able to control it, because then you just have a floating platform. Because that's the thing, it'll negate like a lot of like height challenges, like cliffs and whatnot, if you could just summon a floating disc and float up.
True.
So like a second level at this, have 20 feet, and then you kind of just have like a summonable like flying carpet.
Or what if it can't fly? It just hovers.
Yeah, make sure it's like it cannot be, I don't know, more than 5 feet off the ground.
Oh, it says it right here. Can't cross an elevation change of 10 feet or more. It can move across uneven terrain, up or down stairs, slopes, and the like, but it cannot cross an elevation change of 10 feet or more.
So, actually, this is a good example of spells that not exactly useful for the players and adventurers, but very useful in the day-to-day. Having this on a dock,
great,
infinitely useful. Throw up the crates onto it. They have, dock workers not a caster, but it has like a ring that it connects to and just follows around. Infinitely useful for a dock.
Absolutely. And again, it would be a much better spell. You wouldn't even have to bump it up if you could just move it.
Yeah.
Almost like a crane.
Yeah.
Or like a remote control car.
Mm-hmm.
It still can't cross an elevation change of 10 or more feet, but
yeah,
if you can move it around within 30 feet of you,
yeah,
that is an infinitely useful spell for someone like a dock worker or a construction worker.
Mm-hmm. Just moving supplies around. Extremely
Absolutely.
useful for that. If you're running in a setting that has extreme high fantasy, and like a lot of cities are just, people are just exposed to magic all the time, have that floating disc at the docks. Construction, blacksmiths moving ore around, refineries, carpenters. There's probably not going to be many, unless you're a wealthy noble and this is how you get around. There's not going to be a lot of carriages moving supplies throughout the city or orders. It's just going to be people with floating discs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not too good for adventurers unless they're getting hoard gold, a dragon's gold hoard out. But other than that,
or if you're traveling with a lot of stuff and don't have the money for a carriage.
Yeah, if you could get like something with the enchantment, because it is a duration of 1 hour, but you could cast it ritually.
Yep.
So 10 minutes every hour. Your carriage broke. Need to get back to town still. Don't have your axle broke. You're not going to be able to replace that. You don't have the mending spell, or it's far beyond what the mending spell can do.
Yeah, yeah. It's niche, but
yeah, heavily depends on
its uses.
the style of campaign you're running. If you do a lot of travel, if you do a lot of where like survival of the terrain's a huge part, where you have to go out and hunt. You don't have like someone with good berry. You're doing a lot of shifting around in the world, like very useful for that. And if the players don't have access to something like an airship, extremely useful. But again, depends on the type of campaign. If you're just going to wave some stuff like a bag of holding, where you're like, yeah, you could fit everything in there, because you don't want, because no one really wants to deal with that nitty gritty type of inventory management. Floating disk, very helpful. Don't see it chosen a whole lot. Don't know if that's just because of how I am as a DM or how.
It's just a niche spell.
Yeah. I will talk about this every podcast until it gets fixed officially. Call lightning. Storm sorcerers need to cast this. It needs to be in the rules. Why is it only Druid, Tempest Domain, and Oath of the Open Sea? Storm sorcerers.
Storm sorcerers.
That's all I have to say.
If anyone watches this that uses Twitter, just tag people. Just get it trending.
Yeah.
Storm sorcerers need call lightning.
At Jeremy Crawford, 10 times a day. Let's do it, guys. 12 times.
Yes.
Don't do it. No. Don't harass people on Twitter. A little bit. It needs to be in a book somewhere. I was really hoping that...
Just make it a trending tag on Twitter.
Yeah. When they opened up a lot of stuff in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, I was really hoping they would add this in there. But they didn't. And it's sad.
Feels like an oversight.
At this point, no, it's not an oversight. At this point, I feel like it's just a meme for Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, look, someone tweeted about Storm Sorcerers not having call lightning again.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a meme at this point for them, where they're just like, yep, pin it on the wall. And it's just their entire office space is full of these tweets and emails.
They have a bingo chart of just people complaining about stuff. Oh, look, I got bingo.
Oh, man. So, I feel like it's similar to this. So, Games Workshop has had a race of creatures that were pretty much dwarfs. And they just sort of like dropped it to the wayside. But they had a rule that was, we will like update them at some point. And then apparently it started like internally where if they didn't get a message within a certain amount of time about it, then they would update it. And they never updated it because they kept getting messages about it. They kept just resetting the clock. So I feel like it's just that at Wizards of the Coast with Call Lightning and Storm Sorcerer. Where they just have a clock that gets resetted every 10 minutes. They're like, it's a 12-minute clock, guys.
Come on.
Just wait. Man.
Well. How long have we been going for? An hour and a half?
Yeah.
I feel like time to end it.
Yeah. Next one, I feel like I'm looking at Galder's Tower right now, and I really want to talk about homestead spells now, because we have like 3 of them now. We have more than that because we have like the I'm forgetting what it's on the cleric spell list where you gotta make a temple.
Ooh.
Because we have like Magnificent Mansion, Galder's Tower, the Temple one, and the dome.
Yeah.
And we have magic items. We have the instantaneous fortress. So we have like 4 things that create homes for people on the run. I want to talk about that. That seems like a lot.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a topic for next podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you guys not next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
To talk about more silly magic stuff.
Yeah. If you want to see this weekly, follow. Get us to 50. If we hit 50.
For sure.
We'll definitely start doing this more regularly. But yeah. Have a good one, guys.